Hello and welcome to this new tutorial dedicated to array objects. This type of object is linked to file records. We need to specify a schema. Click on Load from File. We define the name of the master file. This is the file associated with the main page. Processing each group of main pages will advance the query to the next record of this file. In this project, let's choose the customer file. A click on the button creates this object on the screen. The property window of the array object pops up. An array object has three components: a header and a footer zone, both optional, and a mandatory detail zone. The array object reproduces band line logic. To make a list of customers, each detail line will be associated with a customer. So we associate the customer file to the detail area with a drag and drop from the tree view of the schema. With this, the designer is told that each detail line will advance to the next record of the customer file. Let's insert some fields in this array with a drag and drop. The Properties panel on the left is an extremely complete set of properties that allow you to fine-tune how the array will be rendered. Let's see some properties. Full height indicates whether the height of the object should fill all available space or adjust the height to the content of the data. Visible header and visible footer indicate whether the header and footer areas should be used or not. Here is an example of using these areas. In these properties, the detail area paragraph gives a very precise description of all possibilities: space before, multiple borders, rounded corners, primary and secondary colors, title area, summary area, etc. This set of properties has no equivalent. It meets the needs of the most demanding professional developers. For your information, the designer also uses a sophisticated technology to eliminate any orphan zone, even in the case of variable height lines. You cannot, for example, have a summary area without a detail line on the same page. You can access the properties of a line by clicking on the corresponding button. The detail lines can have a fixed height or fit the size of a field with a height limit. Also specify the condition of visibility of this line, the specific font, and the level of transparency. Let's see the result with an example. The array has a fixed height. The lines are a variable. Their color alternates between gray and white, and there is no border. The setting of the borders makes it possible to change very quickly its aspect. To adjust the title line, in the Properties panel, check Vertical Lines. First title column defines the first column to use for the frame, and we delete the contents of the first column title. We can even give a particular color to an individual cell. Here is a more complete example. Objects can be defined in the header and footer in the same way as in the main screen. We find the same properties screen. It is interesting to notice that the procedure uses first of order and last of order functions. This cell contains an image, it is an expression. The object must be set in image mode view as. The total row cell contains a procedure. In this procedure, we define its content. It is returned in value, but we also accumulate its content to be able to print the total of the order. We use a variable, total order, defined in the global variables of the project, in the main screen. We reset this value in the case where we are first of order line. We will come back to this programming in the following tutorial. Before I forget, notice that in this invoice printing example, the order file is the master file, and order line, the detail file. In this example, we use transparency. Here is the result. If several detail lines are defined, they are associated with the same detail record. This block of lines will never be split. It is an entire block. We can even create some lines covering the previous lines. This makes it possible to have several objects on the same cell. Here is another example. Buttons to navigate within the report. The use of the functions page count and page number of order. Even the page count of the customer. Rows of variable height. A running total. Imagine the code we should write to build such a report. This kind of project cannot be considered otherwise than with the designer. Thank you for watching.